Hey everybody, it's another one of those episodes of the Crack-A-Pack we recorded months ago where I ain't got no hair. It's fine now. Cheers! Greetings, you Feywild tricksters. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham, and welcome to the Crack-A-Pack here on LRRMTG. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for enjoying my song. Today, we're opening this pack of Adventures in the Forgotten... Magic the Gathering Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms 15-card draft booster. Magic the Gathering designed by Richard Garfield. This was given to us by Remy Jet at Command Fest Bellevue 2022. So just at time of recording, less than a month ago, which is rare for Crack-A-Pack, as I'm sure you're all aware. So let's get into it. I've been seeing a lot of these cards recently on Arena with the Baldur's Gate alchemy thing. So it'll be interesting to see them back in their own, their proper home, I guess. We begin with Boots of Speed, a single red mana for an equipment. The equipped creature gets +1/+0 and haste, and it equips for 1. And nobody ever cast this card. Good start. You find a cursed idol. Is 1 and a green. For a sorcery, choose 1. Smash it, lift the curse, or steal its eyes. Those are all the flavor words. Let me explain what those mean. Smash it is destroy target artifact. Lift the curse is destroy target enchantment. And steal its eyes is create a treasure token and venture into the dungeon, which is to say you either enter the first room or advance into the next room of the dungeon. As many people noticed at the time, this is this idol, the big statue, is the old cover of the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook? Or Dungeon Master's, I think it was the Player's Handbook. Anyway, it's from one of the old books. Very cool. Also, I may have sounded sarcastic about it. I love the flavor words. Not for every set, but for the D&D set, love it. Love the flavor words. Big fan. That card is fine. +2 mace, just to, completely mess with the people that have Magic the Gathering databases. Here's a card that starts with a plus symbol. It's a +2 mace. 1 and a white for an equipment. The equipped creature gets +2/+2, and it equips for 3. It's, of course the +2 mace gives you +2/+2. That's perfect. What else would it do? It's not a great card, but, it's ideal. Mordenkainen's Polymorph is next. It's 1 and a blue for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains flying. There's one of these in New Capenna. The one in New Capenna, I don't know what it was about that. Not tremendous draft format, but the one in New Capenna was like surprisingly powerful in that set. Maybe because it drew a card as well, or hit artifacts also, but this was only creatures. But you could turn a creature into a dragon. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that this card existed. Price of Loyalty. Got your Act of Treason for the set. It's 2 and a red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste. If mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, the creature also gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Because you're bribing them. Cool. Speaking of spending treasure, we have a Hired Hexblade. 1 and a black for a 2/2 Elf Warlock. When it enters the battlefield, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose a life. Another medium card. Here's a very playable one. Gorgeous George, as we call him. It's a Hill Giant Herd Gorger. I assume we call him Gorgeous George because of the Gorge and George. And that kind of sounds the name. And Gorgeous George was a wrestler. I guess that's why. Don't know where we got that nickname, but here we are. 4 green for a 7/6 giant. When he enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. You first looked at the set, it was like, sure, it's another honey mammoth. No, this card was actually quite good in AFR Limited, and it's still quite good in Baldur's Gate Alchemy on Arena. So, good job, George. Genie Windseer is 3 and a blue for a 3/3 flying Djinn, and when it enters the battlefield, you roll a d20. If you roll a 1 through 9, you scry 1. A 10 through 19, and you scry 2. And a 20, and you scry 3. I mean, you'd scry 2 if you had to first pick that card. There we go, we've figured out the joke. Celestial Unicorn is next. 2 and a white for a 3/2 Unicorn. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Celestial Unicorn. This could get it a hand. Still does. On the other side of that, Valor Singer, 2 and a red for a 2/3 Tiefling Bard with Combat Inspiration, which is to say at the beginning of combat in your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Neat. All right, into the uncommons now. Chaos Channeler, 2 red for a 4/3 Human Shaman with Wild Magic Surge. Love Wild Magic. In D&D, love Wild Magic, because it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen, let's find out together. Whenever Chaos Channeler attacks, roll a d20. 1 through 9, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. 10 through 19, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. 20, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Sure, it's neat. Dungeon Crawler. What are you saying about us, R&D? You create a zombie and call it a dungeon crawler. Single black mana for a 2/1 zombie. It enters the battlefield tapped. Whenever you complete a dungeon, you may return Dungeon Crawler from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, right. Cool. And everybody needs to start their adventure with 50 feet of rope. You just did. Everyone always had 50 feet of rope. That seems like so much rope. It seems like it would be really heavy. But, I don't know. Anyway, it's only a single mana for 50 whole feet of rope. For an artifact, you can climb over, turn up, or rappel down. Turn up? Yeah, everybody, we got 50 feet of rope. Who's turning up for this card? Tie up. Maybe I'm just looking forward to the after party from our recording session of Crack-a-Pack. James, we should start having after parties for recording Crack-a-Pack. I think all I have planned today is getting some food before we stream. Anyway, it's an artifact. You climb over is tap and target wall can't block this turn. Tie up, much less exciting, is 3 and tap. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Or rappel down, 4 and tap, venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. It's versatile, but it's not really worth a card in your draft deck if you're drafting this. It's just sort of like, I don't know, you tap something down, but you're spending 3 mana every turn and a whole card. I don't love it. But our rare is Ranger Class. That's a good one. 1 and a green for a class. Remember these enchantments? When Ranger Class enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf token. Then you can pay 1 and a green to take it to level 2, which says whenever you attack, you put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. And for 3 and a green, you can take it to level 3. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. We also have a forest and the Lost Mine of Phandelver. The forest says, as you venture deeper under the boughs of Neverwinter Wood, arrows in a tree trunk suggest you might not be welcome. Well, I guess if they're just appearing there as you walk, if you're walking along and a bunch of arrows just sort of go thunk into a tree in front of you, that's a pretty heavy clue that you should probably turn around. If it's just arrows in a tree, I assume that's most trees in the Neverwinter Wood. I mean, it's most vertical surfaces, I would expect, to be filled with arrows at this point. Anyway, I don't know if any of you at home try to figure out how much a pack is worth as we're going along. Did you think that this pack was sort of in the, what sort of range? Do you think this pack was worth more than $1? You're wrong, it's not. It's 93 cents. But, Ranger Class is nice. I would first pick Ranger Class. Whee! It's honestly, as AFR goes, it's not a spectacular pack. Like, the Unicorn, the Valor Singer, the Hill Giant Herd Gorger, obviously Ranger Class, those are all playable. The rest of it is fine. It's not one of the most broken packs of AFR I've ever seen, but I'll just take Ranger Class and be happy with it. And I'm happy that you gave us this pack, Remy Jet. Appreciate it, and I'm glad that you got to see the folks that went down to Command Fest Bellevue. someday I hope to return to a Command Fest or Magic Fest or something, or just leave the city. We'll get there. In the meantime, thank you for joining us here on Crack-A-Pack. Always appreciated. I've been Graham. James is here on tech. Matt edits these. Heather gets them online. And now I guess we're going to go have an after party where I refill my water.
Woo, spring break!
Spring break! See you all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.